Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwander. Today we have the pleasure of presenting you with a star, Jeff Ogden. Jeff, introduce yourself. What do you do?
I am Jeff Ogden. I am known as the Fearless Competitor. I'm a marketing expert, won a lot of awards for marketing, and I also host a TV show kind of like yours called Marketing Made Simple TV, which is a lot of fun.
Well, I feel kind of hatless, and on this occasion, I'm going to go with a classic. This is a hat that nobody else has anymore because it's called Sales Rep Online. So let's jump right in. You're a TV host and you're a marketing expert. Give us a definition of marketing.
Okay, yeah. Marketing, I would say, it's all about reaching out to people and earning trust so that when they look for a solution to their problems, you are the preferred solution.
It makes sense. So what is the beef that salespeople have with marketing?
I always think, a lot of marketing folks tend to be, working on the brand and looking at website visits and not really helping sales. I think it's important for marketers to understand sales and go out on sales calls with them and spend time with customers, because I think that bridges the gap. And I think it's all about developing those relationships.
It makes a lot of sense. At the Sales Hub shop now, we currently run a survey. The number one beef that sales has with marketing is they don't have enough qualified sales leads. So how should marketing remedy that?
The most important thing that marketers need to do is really, really understand buyers. That if you understand why people buy and who they trust and what their real pains are and where they go for information, the buyer personas. And I think too many marketing organizations skip that step and they start producing content. But my question is, what do you write about if you don't understand the buyers? Right? I'm going to create a white paper. What am I going to write? Unless I've been out there talking to the buyers and really understanding them. That's why so much content is bad. So
let me rephrase that. What you're saying is that there is a buying persona, which is, let's say, the CEO. Then there's the CFO of the company. Then there's the end user. And then there's the influencer. So there are about 5 different buying personas on one side. Then on the other hand, you probably have about 8 different channels that you need to serve in order to be heard out there. And that's complex. It's complicated.
You're right. It is complicated. And I think that, that's why I think taking the time to ask the questions, knowing what your value proposition is, knowing how people actually buy, the process they go through.
But there's another issue that salespeople have with marketing right now, which is that most of their messages lack clarity and they lack punch. Why is that?
Well, and I think it goes back to, if you think about relevance, Gerhard, right? How you would define relevance is, okay, somebody sent me something that relates to what I care about, right? It means something to me. They understand me. Well, if marketers haven't done the effort to really understand those buyers and personalize and make it relevant, then the content sucks.
I talked to a marketing manager just the other day, and he said, God, we created last year about 20,000 leads. We spent about $500,000 to create those leads. And our salespeople probably have not called on 12,000 of them, but from the 8,000, we got 200 customers.
Those aren't very good numbers. Those really aren't. But even the data I've seen, Gerhard, is quite frankly, is fewer leads, salespeople sell more. Because so much sales time is wasted calling unqualified leads. If you can give salespeople a higher percentage of really good qualified leads, they're going to win more business because they're not going to waste so much time following up on unqualified leads.
So Jeff, here's another ache that salespeople are feeling today, which is that their company does not have an effective social media strategy. What's the answer?
Well, I think, social media is big and getting bigger every year. So one of the guests on my show was Scott Stratton, and he asked a very simple question. When a customer calls you, what do? You answer the phone. When they send you an email, right, you respond to it. And when they tweet you, what do? And his point is, it's just another channel. So I think too, again, if you go back to the buyer persona idea, right? I'm talking to someone like you're my prospective buyer, and I'm interviewing you, and I'm going back to how your decision started, right? What was the trigger event that drove the selection? What is the process you went through? Who do you trust for information? Who did you turn to? Did you go on Facebook? Did you go on LinkedIn? Did you go on Twitter? Where did you ask your questions? Or maybe there's a trade association, and maybe it's not any one of those. So, but I think if you get those insights, then that kind of tells you, okay, I want to fish where the fish are, right? And if I get that information, I can start putting my content where the most people will see it in my industry.
Yeah, but the way I understand it is you really need two strategies. You need to have sort of an overall umbrella strategy for the company, and then for each salesperson, you want to have a micro strategy.
I agree with you, and I think, one of the things that Marketo talks about is seed nurturing, right? You create some content, you put it everywhere, so it just gets found because you don't know what's going to grow. But by the same token, I think sending salespeople into battle with a pocket knife is just a really bad idea. You've got to arm them with content and information. Someone says, I'm buying your software. How long does it take, and how do I structure my team to implement your software? Well, what if the sales rep pulled out an iPad and played a video of an existing customer talking exactly how they did that? Right? How long it took them, and how they organized, and how successful they were. Well, again, if you think about what you're doing and think about it in a scientific approach, you can give those salespeople that kind of content, and they can sell much more effectively.
You are talking about sales enablement. Should that be a marketing function or a sales function?
I don't think you can put a strict line between the two. I think sales enablement is sales and marketing working together. I think they have to work together to create content that helps the salespeople, and they can test it out and make it better all the time. So I don't think it's one or the other. I think sales and marketing have to work closely together.
So what can we do together? I mean, now you have a big audience. You talk to marketing people. We have a big audience. We talk to sales executives. How can we create an alignment between the two? I give you some stats. I did some research cursory. There are about 20,000 people that go to marketing events physically.
Okay.
Marketing leaders. And when I add up all the sales events, they're probably less than 2,000.
Wow.
So they're marketing birds, they flock together. And I think sales birds are like eagles. Why is that?
Yeah. Well, I think it comes up to the very simple thing that sales is one-to-one selling, right? That you're going to call on one person and go meet with that person and try to close a deal. Marketing is one-to-many, right? They're out there building relationships with groups of people at the same time. So there's a fundamental difference in philosophy there. But I also think, too, the world has changed a lot. And I think because the balance of power has shifted so much from sellers to buyers that, companies can go online and start researching products and everything. And I think so much of the buying decision has moved over to marketing that sales plays a very different role. They're the fulfillment people. They're the people who deal with the mature situations and close those deals. So I think the whole world of sales and marketing has changed so much in the last 5 or 10 years that, it's a very different world we live in.
So that means that there's so much complexity that we need to collaborate closer. So the question really is, how can sales and marketing collaborate more so that both get more?
Well, I mean, go to lunch together. Share a beer together. I mean, come on, spend some time together and get to know each other. I think one thing that helps, I'm not a young guy and I don't have a lot of hair, but most of my career was in sales. Almost all of it. And probably about 5 years ago, I said, all the action's in marketing, so I'm going to get into marketing. But I understand sales, and I know how salespeople think, so I think that helps.
So nothing that a beer cannot resolve, right?
Exactly. Beer can solve a lot of problems. I really think it can. But it's all about building relationships. And I think in a company that if the VP of sales and the VP of marketing spend quality time together and get to know each other and really understand what the other person is thinking about, I think things will work a lot better.
There's a mindset in marketing, there's a skill set in marketing, and there's a tool set in marketing. How should companies approach the tool set? Because when I talk to sales leaders, they're not interested in marketing software. They say this is their department. But what can sales leaders expect of marketing in terms of technology?
Well, I think marketing's got to invest in the tools to both develop leads and provide sales enablement content for salespeople. So things like obviously CRM they have to have, marketing automation is very important today, integration with social networks because you don't know where leads are going to come from. And I think marketing always needs to take a small part of their budget and keep experimenting. I mean, this tool we're using right now to talk about, I learned this just today from you. So, there's always new things out there and there always will be. You got to just keep experimenting and keep your mind open.
And my theory is if we divided the task a little bit more intelligently, that we didn't say we expect 100% of the leads from marketing. So what is the ideal ratio? How much should salespeople expect to be fed from marketing?
I think that's a really good question, and I don't know that there's a firm answer. I think marketing should provide the bulk of sales leads, meaning more than half. But I think it's something that you're always trying to improve. I think probably at the very beginning when you start the process that sales are out there, shaking the bushes and getting their own leads. And over time, you can get better and better to where you have more marketing source leads. But to really generate marketing source leads, you got to be you got to have buyer personas. You got to be doing a great job of nurturing those leads. You've got to produce some great content. There's a lot to it. As I always say, I've said to people, marketing doesn't cost a lot of money, but it's really, really hard work.
So you were, if I recall this correctly, on HubSpot TV.
Yes, I was.
And you know the HubSpot organization, and they're telling me that all their salespeople are required to blog.
Right.
Why doesn't that fly in other companies?
Well, first of all, HubSpot is a very innovative and aggressive company. And yes, I think they're all required to blog there. So it's an interesting idea. And I think a blog is very important. I've been writing a blog for 7 years. And I'm a graybeard in blogging out there. But I think blogs are really good because you think about it, websites don't change every day, right? So they're relatively static. Blogs, you can share knowledge and publish and just be out there, and Google loves it because they love fresh content. So obviously a blogging strategy is very important, and even having the salespeople blog is a good idea. Having the salespeople on social networks, I think, is a good idea as well. So I gotta say, I like this idea of bringing sales and marketing together, and I appreciate being on your show because I think that this helps foster the relationship between sales and marketing.
Jeff, you've had a lot of success. My hat is off to you. Thank you for your time.
My hat is off to you. All right. It's been a lot of fun here, Hart. I really enjoyed coming on with you. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for your time.